All right, so Emma, the confidence that you were beaming with on Friday was on display today here at the marathon, I guess. So how are you feeling after that performance?
Yeah, I couldn't back down from, I had to walk the walk when I talked the talk. So feeling so good. I went for it. It was the last couple miles that the girls pulled away. I wasn't able to run the 5.0s that they were putting down, but I put myself in it, and I found myself in the front for a big portion of the race. And I got to mile 20 and saw Joe, and we were both just like, go for it. And so wasn't really anticipating being in the front that whole time. It was more like wanting to be in the second pack and then eventually catch up to everybody and try to catch everyone. But my instincts took over, and that's what I needed to do. It just felt right, and I got to mile 18 feeling really, really good, and attacked the hills and was able to be in first up until that mile 20 and 22. So feeling good today.
Is there any part of you know the magnitude of the Boston Marathon here in the United States, that when you find yourself up in the front, you're like, I'm doing this? Like, what's that moment like? Take us through inside your head at that point.
Yeah, it didn't really sink in until I saw my coach, really. Everybody was cheering for me, but people cheer for you the whole way, and but they were a little bit louder than they normally are, and I don't know if that was because I was leading or if they were just excited. I don't know what it was, but I was just trying to soak it all in. No matter what, I'm at the Boston Marathon, and I'm running well, and it doesn't even matter what place I'm in. It's just so much fun to be here, and to be here on a normal year, having it in the springtime again for the second time this year since the pandemic. Just such a celebration. It was just so cool to be out there and to be running my best. Yeah.
That final mile, or the final 2 miles, basically when they start to really make that surge, I guess, how much pain are you in at that point? And it's mentally, where do you go?
Yeah, it's tough because I could taste, the win at that point. And, I had led a lot of the race where, I was like, I don't want to give in now, but it's just your legs are on fire. I just can't turn over any quicker. And so it's really just using your arms as much as you can. And, your feet are on fire too. So that was probably the biggest thing, was because of all the puddles. It was so rainy and my shoes felt heavy and just kind of slipping around and everything. My Asics were amazing, but it's tough when you're slipping and sliding around. So that was kind of tough. The last couple miles was it finally weighed in on me how heavy everything was at that point because of the rain.
When that one woman fell, was it just a little bit of panic? You were playing it safe after that, being off to the side a little bit.
I didn't even know what was happening, and it's funny because I think they're also used to kind of running in a pack. I'm not used to that. I'm usually find myself in no man's land. So I was trying to stay kind of to the side because I'm not very good at running in a straight line, and I was getting stepped on and I was stepping on people, and I was like, I'm just going to go to the side. Also, I felt like I was the only one really running the tangents. Also, they were just kind of running straight. So I was just I'll remove myself and just kind of do my own thing and kind of get put the blinders on and run my own race at that point.
Right before this, I guess, so Kyle said on our broadcast, he was like, I at this moment can't see three American women beating you at the trials, and that's just kind of how you've come into your own as a marathon over the last couple of years. I guess this development we've seen from the last trials to looking ahead, we're less than a year out now. Where's your sort of confidence level at as a marathoner?
Yeah, I've always believed that I am that person. I always believed that I could make the Olympics, and even the last trials, I really thought I was going to make that team. So I've always had that belief in myself. It's just finally being displayed now. And even last year, I was, putting my head down and working as hard as I ever did with Team Boss and Joe, and wasn't really seeing the benefits, and then started to come around this season. And so I feel like it's coming around at the right time. And again, it doesn't matter what I do here. It matters what I do at the Olympic trials, so that's a year time, so can't say for sure, but I really hope to be up there. Yeah.
What's the hope between now and then? Is it just a summer road racing series? We're not gonna see you back on the track, are you?
No, I am not a track girl anymore, but I won't say I'm not going to go for the American record in the fall. That may be on our radar now. Like I said, I do feel like I'm that 218, 219 girl, and that means American record on a flat course. So we may go for that in the fall.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
So Emma, sorry, was there any point that you're really leading the Boston Marathon?
The whole time I was just oh my gosh, it's so cool to be here. So it was never a point where I was oh my gosh, I'm leading. It was just just keep going, don't let yourself get in I don't know, don't become overly confident because you're leading now, because this is a long race and anything can happen. And of course, the last 2 miles, I ended up not. So it's not over till it's over.
And then, okay, so they went really hard with like a 5:08 and about mile 8, I think.
Yeah.
And then there were 3 miles, 5:10, 5:09 in there. You were off the back, but then you like gradually, so like what was going through your head at that point? Because then you were back from the lead pack again, obviously.
Yeah, the plan from the beginning with Joe and I was to kind of go with the second pack because we knew they were going to throw down some times like that. And I knew that if I were to run in the 5:10s that it might be too hot for me and I may, kind of go over the edge too soon. So I was trying to play it safe there, but I think I ended up running like a 5:06, 5:08 as well, but it didn't feel that fast. So I was able to kind of keep, within contact, and then eventually they slowed down. And so it kind of felt like the whole thing was a fartlek, which is kind of funny because I've been doing a lot of fartleks lately. So I think I've really trained for that kind of undulation of pace. And that's kind of how those top Kenyans and Ethiopians run, is they just kind of like change the pace a lot. So if you can just ride it out and stick in there, they'll eventually slow.